split. And Detroit last season shot up in the standings, largely due to their improvements on the defensive end. Shaq, how'd they do it?
Well, Stan Van Gundy is a guy who knows how to coach defense. I played for him in Miami before he was fired. They play well as a unit, and they're sharp with the help defense.
Did he turn you into a defensive force?
No. I'm not known for my defense, Ernie.
What are you known for?
Prolific MF scoring.
What's MF again?
Most frequently.
Oh, okay, got you. But I'll tell you, one thing about them is that they don't have many weak defenders. So what they do is they switch everything. So you make a pick, they switch. The one guard can guard the four guy. The four guy can guard the one guard. So everyone switches on it. That makes it a lot easier to have a defensive concept.
Looks like both teams are ready to tip this thing off. Let's get it to Kevin Harlan.
Don't switch the channel. Get it?
Don't switch everything. Let me know how I can go.
Right there.
It's game time in Denver as the crowd is filing in the Pepsi Center, looking to cheer on the Nuggets. This is Kevin Harlan along with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry. David Aldridge will be reporting from the sidelines. The Detroit Pistons come into this one following a loss, guys, to the Spurs in San Antonio. And that was a real body blow for them. They got taken apart both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, not a very inspired performance for them, particularly when they were defending. They just gave that hostile crowd plenty to cheer for.
Well, you step onto somebody else's hardwood, that's when you got to bring your best effort defensively. Far from it tonight from them. Instead, it turned into a shooting gallery.
And as we've got a few moments here before the tip, let's go to the Hall of Famer David Aldridge, who had a chance to speak with Mike Malone. Dave, what'd you find out?
Well, guys, he said, we know what we have to do to beat this team because we've already done it once this year. And when I asked him about changing things up in the second meeting, he said, why would we? Until they prove they can handle us, we're not changing a thing. Sounds like he's pretty happy with the formula that won that first game. Guys?
All right, David, thanks.
And you look back on the Pistons, and whenever that group has had success as a franchise, it's always driven by a team-oriented concept. I mean, yeah, they've had stars, Isaiah Thomas, Chauncey Billups, but at the heart of all their title runs.
Denver with a platoon swap here on the floor. The Nuggets leading by 7, and Detroit looking at who they've got. Marcus Morris is out there with Aaron Baines. Then there's Marjanovic. Then there's Ish Smith, and it's Jackson in a point. Here's Gallinari. The shot will not fall. Good work defensively by Morris. Here's Smith. Softly drops in the floater. Smith's got his first 2 points of the night.
Well, he approaches the rim strong there and then flips up the teardrop.
Good ball movement here by the Nuggets. Down low. Young against Jackson. Here's Marjanovic. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
Inside, here's Cage. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And one thing that you are never prepared for as an NBA rookie is the fatigue of a long season. Prez could be dealing with that now.
And we all know about the rookie wall, and as much as you try to prepare for it, there's just nothing you can do at times but lean over and catch your breath.
Morris, no good.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Here's Cage, and a hard slam there from Prez to finish off the play.
And that's the athleticism that had him so highly touted coming into the league.
And one thing about Prez and Young, when they're on the floor, you can just feel the energy on the team elevate.
And it becomes infectious. Everyone on the roster picks up on it, and the team can just run away with games because of it.
Barton dishes to Young. Feeds to Prez. Rebound, Detroit.
Well, important to get great balance if you get bumped on your way to the basket. Still something that every player tries to get comfortable with.
Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. Nuggets lead by 7. And don't go away. We'll be back momentarily. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And from what we've been watching, guys, with the Nuggets, what are you seeing out there?
I just don't know that you're going to see a better quarter defensively than what we saw in the first.
Yeah, I just really love that they're playing with their hearts tonight, contesting shots, making their opponent work for every point.
And Detroit, looking at who they've got. At small forward and power forward, it's Harris and Morris. Caldwell Pope out there with Udrich, and it's Drummond in at the 5 down low. And Brent, going back a few years to your formative playing days in high school, you played at one of the bigger powerhouse high schools in California. How did playing on such a team that had such high expectations at that early age help your skill level and your overall basketball development?
Well, going to De La Salle High School, if I really wanted success, I should have been a kicker because the football team was off the charts. But we did have great success in basketball, and I did watch my 2 older brothers play at the school, so I understood what the program was about, what kind of expectations there were from the coaches with regards to accountability.
I bet you would have been a pretty good wide receiver.
I might have been, at least for one play, until a linebacker or a cornerback would cut me in half.
Barry going deep. He's got the ball, and there he goes. And Udrich kicks to Harris. They grab their own miss. The Nuggets leading by 7. Here's Barton. And it's good. Fought through contact. It's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
One shot. Moving it around. 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
A different look for Denver. Fareed. 56 seconds left in the second quarter. Kicks it to Plumlee. It's stolen by Marjanovic. And here comes Smith leading the fast break. Baines passes to Smith. The feed to Udrich. There's a screen by Marjanovic. No one near Smith as he lets it go. And the miss, not the best shot selection there. Denver's gotten a success rate of just over 50% from three-point tonight. 4 of 7 shooting. And good that time. Gallinari's got 4 this quarter.
Well, Gallo almost pushes 7 feet, so he comes up with the offensive rebound and putback because of his size.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Morris against Gallinari. And that one's good. Marjanovic.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Here's Cage. And finish off by Prez.
He really can time those perfectly. What an assist.
For 3, Smith. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Gallinari. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And so a pretty lopsided game through the first half. The Nuggets on top. They lead by 18. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
Bring it in, guys. Hey, great work in the first half. Listen.
The Denver skyline looking absolutely gorgeous tonight as we return to the Mile High City. And as we welcome you back, big group substitution here for Denver. Prez is checked in for Reed. Gallinari comes in for Wilson Chandler. Murray's checked in for Harris. Young is subbed in for Jameer Nelson. Then for the Pistons, Marjanovic checked in for Lure. Morris comes in for Tobias Harris. And it's Ish Smith in for Udrich. Cage in at the 4 spot. Young is out there with Murray. Then there's Gallinari. And it's Jokic in at the 5. That's the group on the floor for Denver. And Detroit has possession. Caldwell Pope with it. Now guarded by Murray. Here's Smith. And that's good for 2. The Nuggets leading by 18.
still believe that the Nuggets play their best when the ball is moving around. They rely on ball movement to create shots and open up opportunities. They don't have a lot of great isolation players.
Here's Cage. Detroit with the rebound. Drummond's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Smith against Young. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Nice ball movement by Detroit. The dish to Drummond. 6 on the shot clock. For 3, Smith. Smith missing again. And with the Nuggets being at their best when their assist numbers are so high, that's been a trend for them for nearly a decade.
The Nuggets have not had an all-star in some time, and they are best when relying on one another. That builds a lot of team chemistry and a lot of team confidence. A high number of their baskets were assisted on last year, and you love playing with a selfless team.
For Detroit, they have started out 0 of 1 from the line, missing their only other attempt earlier.
And looking at last season's numbers, down below 70% as a team from the line.
Mason Plumlee's checked in for Denver. Nelson comes in for Murray. And then for Detroit, Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Marjanovic. And it's Udrich in for Smith. And Gallinari kicks to Nelson. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Andre Drummond picks one up. And one thing the Pistons have been doing in recent times is honoring the members of the 2004 championship team. Retired several numbers, and rightly so. You know, Gray, that team was special.
And that 2004 had a great cast of characters, many of whom found a rebirth with the Pistons. That team helped continue the us against the world feeling that the franchise had in the Bad Boys era. Hard to express just how much that team meant to the city of Detroit.
Young with the steal. And now the fast break. Gallinari with the ball. Here's Plumlee. Goes up again. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And that's just what Prez does, getting real physical with the D on his shots.
He'll take his 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the game right here. And so he makes both from the line.
It's too easy out here.
17 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Now Udrich. They set the pick. Here's Morris. Detroit, no good that time either. And as we conclude the 3rd quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Nuggets ahead, opening up a huge gap. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the 4th quarter. And now let's take a listen to Stan Van Gundy on a recent huddle.
We're not going to get this all back at once. Just play our game. Pick up our defensive intensity, but we don't need to rush down here. Just play our game.
Welcome back. And the Nuggets with some changes. Prez comes in for Mason Plumlee. Young is subbed in for Nelson. And Detroit with a change here, too. Lewis checked in for Aaron Baines. Okay, time now for an injury report.
He told me that in his opinion, the injury does not appear to be too serious. A really discouraging development for this team at such an early point in the season. We'll see how they respond, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Boy, you always hate to see anyone ever deal with any sort of injury.
And almost for every player, it's inevitable. I mean, injuries are going to happen no matter how well you take care of yourself.
Well, for how hard he competes in the game, you know he's going to do just the same when it comes to rehab. He may recover faster than most because of it.
On the floor for Detroit, on the wings, Caldwell, Pope, and Harris. John Lewis out there with Andre Drummond, and it's Udrich in at the point guard position. To the paint, here's Cage. Good, and Harris gets the assist. And the Nuggets lead by 20.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Nuggets.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
A 2-game season series, They win them both and complete the sweep. And what a huge standout performance it was for Harris. He was extremely efficient offensively, got good looks, and really knocked down big shots all game long.
Drummond with a screen on Young. And Udrich kicks to Drummond. Poked loose. Here's Udrich. 14 feet away. Misses.
And what you like there is Young's energy, willing himself to get into the peripheral of the shooter.